We're so wild right now that we're disconnecting. Like seconds into this shit. So let's go. Let's just take it all the way. This might actually be, you never know. I'm gonna be real with you. This might be the only time you hear this fucking shit. In the full. No. Let's take advantage. Give it to me all. I can't do it for too long because then, my back fucking breaks in half. Let's just cut it. Can we cut it, please? Can we just get this shit started? Because let's just get this shit ya para tanto, con esta mierda. Tú sabes cómo la cosa. ¿A dónde está la cosa? Where is this thing? Oh, it's on the other side over here. Shit. It's on the other side over here. Can we cut it, please? Can you cut it? Please, cut it. Thank you. It's like fucking 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. Oh, it's okay. Fuck it. It's Miami. That's all we do here. Jimmy, good job tonight. You can go, please. I know this is not a kid show, but it's still, you can't have this thing like all over the place. So we're gonna hold on. Wait, we're a little rusty, people. We're a little rusty. Jimmy, can you please go, man? Damn, bro. They put it. Oh, this thing. No wonder Jimmy's not going away. Jimmy has crashed the system and he has crashed the feed. He has destroyed reality. And then, yeah, okay, I see what I did. I added this new background of Emo Jimmy, and it kind of like destroyed reality here. So hold on. There we go. Cultura. Cultura. Sorry, that hurt when I said that. I was like, ee. Cultura. However you say it. That's how you say it. Now and forever. I don't make the rules. I just make the rules. I am studiomogura, studio M-O-G-U-R-A. I apologize for my shambled look. I didn't get a chance to shave, and I was supposed to go get a haircut, but it was raining, and I was like, fuck that shit. And I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm like, whatever. Let's put a mask on. Fuck it. I'll go on Friday. Friday, I'll go get the snip, get the fade. 1, 2, 3. That's how we do it. I am here. This is our third season, officially, of Cultura, third season. 1, 2, 3, third one. The first one, we got a hernia at the end of the season. Didn't make it to the finals. Second one, still had the hernia, still dealing with that shit. Made it to the finals. Didn't win. This time, I don't know what to tell you, man. That shit's still hanging around. It's weird. They said it would go away, and it was like, it's still there, dude. What the fuck's going on? So I don't know. We might have to do one of those mid-season, because I'm sure the Heat are going to get me, like, fucking crazy. So we'll see what happens with that. And then at the same time, we'll see what happens at the end of this season. But we've had pretty good luck starting this thing and doing this thing. So we're going to ride this until Jimmy wins his, and Jimmy wins us a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is how we do it. After I give the introduction of who I am, now you're going to go through the ads, and the ads are basically all of the shit that you can, hit up to support me. You're not supporting Coca-Cola, you're not supporting big business or anything like that. You're supporting me and helping me get through the night. I do taxes. That's how I get by. I've been doing it for like forever, it feels like 20 years at least. 20 years. Yeah, it sucks. It doesn't suck because I do it it's a family business, and I love doing it. I love working with my family. It's awesome. But, I've just been doing it too long. And now we have like a space that I feel like, I can be creative in this space and do stuff. But every time I go in there trying to be creative, it's like, hey, could you not do that? So it's weird. So we're still dealing with that. film. We were doing a film last year. Completely, just about, it's totally cast except for the female lead, which is I've had trouble trying to cast that spot. And it's basically fallen through like 3 times. And then I just like started doing other things. And then I tried to finish, I had to rewrite the script like 3 times, and that took forever. And so now I went back and I'm trying to finish an animated pilot that I had started a couple years back. And I'm like, you know what? I can't finish the film until I finish this shit, because I gotta finish this shit. And it's really just an excuse to, not do the film, because I'm just like scared, to be honest with you. Because it's a fucking daunting task. As soon as I start that film, I gotta finish it. And it's like getting into people's lives and bothering people and seeming like an asshole and all this kind of, it's like, I don't want to do that. And then putting yourself out there and like going to film this shit guerrilla style. So it takes a lot. And I'm like, okay, I just want to feel like I did something this year in case I don't do that. So let me just do this, which I've been trying to do for like fucking 10 years, and it's almost done. I just got to do it. And I thought I had like 8 minutes left of it, but really I have like 15, which is a lot of fucking shit to animate for one fucking person. So, but either way, I'm doing it, and we're gonna try and get that sorted. And so, as you can see, I've got a couple QR code things, and each one of these things are basically a way to kind of support me, support my studio, my soul self studio. Like, there's nobody here, it's just me. But I like to pretend, I'm not alone, because otherwise I'd go crazy. And so you've got, the first one's my PayPal, second one's my CashApp, third one's to buy my book, my self-published novel, Full Moon Nights, which is basically a chronicle of my life as a raver in the Miami rave scene in the early 2000s. Basically, it was a script that I wrote because I was like, I want to write a script about like the Miami rave scene. So I wrote this script, and I was like, okay, well, let me take all these things that happened to me at different times and put it together. And this is basically kind of an idea of what just an average day in the life of a Miami raver is. And then I kind of combined that with this party, this, the story of, not a story, but it's really just this night that happened. It was like the last Full Moon Nights, Full Moon Nights was a rave that used to take place at like a go-kart amusement center after it would close, like every full moon night, every full moon. So it was like once a month. And that happened for like a whole year, and it was like this crazy party, dude. And like, I had gone a couple of times, and then the last one, in real life, I went down to Miami after my first year of college, and we went down there, and it was like to close. And then after I graduated my first year, they were like, "Oh shit, they're not doing Full Moon Nights anymore. It's gonna be the last one." So we went out there, and it was like whatever. It was like like it's typical self crazy and shit like that. But it really, honestly, wasn't as like insane as that first one that I had went to. The first one I gone to, I remember, bro. The only thing that I really, really remember is walking out of that place through like walking out, and they were playing Sonique. Your Love Feels So Good, and that song had just come out, like, and I don't mean just come out like in the mainstream. That song had been playing in the underground rave scene at least a year, maybe almost 2 years before it like actually came out like with a video on. It felt like, at least I'm pretty sure it was like a year before it came out with like a video on MTV. But that shit was playing in the underground, like real hard underground rave scene for a really long time before it even started picking up noise, and by the time it got to MTV, it was like a played out song. It was like, it's too commercial. But when that shit dropped in the raves, bro, it was incredible. And I remember walking out when I was like, okay, it's like fucking 4 a.m. I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I remember walking out and seeing all like the fucking remnants of like the last stragglers of fucking ravers, and the whole place just being destruido, bro. Because you walk in there when the first time it's just wow. I feel bad who has to clean this shit up, bro. And like, just that song playing, blue lights, fucking awesome, bro. So I just remember that, and that like, wow, that was like that first night. But then the last night, there was also instances, and ended up just basically at the end of the night, we all just gathered on the fucking go-kart. Not a go-kart, like the golf course, the mini golf course, and we all just hung out there and shit, and they had to turn off all the lights, and it was just pitch black. It was pitch black, and you couldn't see the stars like a lot because there was a highway right next to it, but it was just like dark, like the normal. So it was pretty cool, I remember that. And but yeah, so I just decided, you know what, I gotta tell a story because people kind of completely forgot about Full Moon Nights, and that was a huge party that used to take place here for like a really long time. And so that's like kind of the story of that book. So you can get the soft cover, you can get the hard cover via my QR code. And I know I just forgot. I'm also putting basically the audio of this podcast of this recording, whatever the fuck you call it, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. So I know if you listen to this shit on fucking there and you don't watch it on either on YouTube, which is where it airs live, I apologize. I'm basically talking about some QR codes that you can come to, and you just like use your phone and you click on that shit, and then it's like it takes you to the link of the Amazon where you can buy the books and stuff. So, like I said, going back, the first one is for the soft cover, second one's for the hard cover that you get at Barnes and Noble, and the other QR code is to my comic shop, which I don't have any comics up right now, but I have to update it at some point. I know I've been seeing that for a million years now, but I'm using it right now as a blog. So it's my blog right there, and then my TeePublic, which has a couple of my designs still up there that I got to update too. And then lastly is my link to my Spotify for my full discography of all my music that I've been doing since 1999. I go under the moniker El Topo, and I have since like about 2003. I'm in 2003, 2007-ish officially. Yeah, like I just been doing music. I do electronica and IDM and things like that. My last album just came out. The Reflection Blinds You from Seeing the Truth, and I should actually be up here, but I guess I just realized that. Yeah, it's somewhere up here. I don't know where it is. Here. Well, I have it here, but this is what it looks like. But should actually go in the fucking corner over there. I don't know why the fuck it's over here, dude. What the fuck's going on? But regardless, this is what it looks like. That's the cover. I released it up back in August, and whatever, it's just another album, man. To me, that's how music is now. Music is not like, oh, I released an album and it scored, on the top 10 on the Billboard. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. That's never gonna happen, dude. I'm not here for that. I just release my music because I like doing music, and at this point, I just not even trying anymore, bro. Honestly, I'm just like, you know what? When I want to make music, I make a track. When I have enough tracks for an album, I put it together and I release it. That's all we do. So if you want to buy, you can pick it up at Bandcamp. The link is right there in front of you, the El Topo Miami at Bandcamp. Or you want to listen to it, you can just go on YouTube, on my page on YouTube, subscribe, and you'll see all the releases and shit. Or you can listen to it on Spotify. If you listen to it on Spotify, probably best on your PC, because then you can fucking listen to all the tracks, and it's not like on the phone. If you don't pay for it, it's just going to give you some stupid playlist. So there we go. So yeah, that's, then we do that, and then we're done. And then now, the show begins. Can you believe that shit? All that shit talk. Done. Now, the show begins. I might grab the mic like this. Because, I don't know, when I was doing the preseason show, I grabbed the mic, and it's just, I MC. So I feel more comfortable with the mic in my hand. And when the mic is in my hand, I just feel like I'm like, like that. So I guess that's why I feel more comfortable with the mic in my hand. So but I'm not going to try and do that too much unless I get excited. If I get excited, I'm going to grab it and just be like, yeah. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to try and be civil about this. Okay? What do you want to talk about? What, there was a Heat game? Get out of here. Who gives a shit? It's nothing. It's not here. We're not here for that. Okay? We're not here for your Heat game. There's no Heat game right now. Okay? Right now, there's no Heat game. We think the regular season started today? The regular season did not start today, my friend. If you have been listening to this show, which I know you haven't because all my plays have 0, except for the ones that don't have 0 and has a couple plays, and you count out all the times that I actually listen to that shit on different devices, which is not many. It's usually people just find me and be like, who the fuck is this guy? And then we move on. But I'm sure there's some of you that have come across here a couple more than once. It's got to be. Just the laws of nature and reality on the internet. You have seen that I have said it before, how this team operates. I'm dying of thirst. I'm sorry. Ya me duele la cosa. Totally out of shape. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now why. It is not the regular season right now. The regular season didn't start tonight for us. You all know that. If you've been listening to this show, you should know this. Today, preseason. So just the first preseason game. That's what happened. Today was the first preseason game. That's why they came out there, put these motherfuckers up by 19, and then took their foot off the gas and were like, yeah, whatever, we'll make it to the end at some point. And they did. They made it to the end. Thank God they made it to the end, because if they didn't make it to the end, this show might not have happened. I might have been just so fucking utterly pissed the fuck off that I would not have done a show. I'd be like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do tomorrow when I get off of work, and I'm just gonna yell at them. And I would have stewed in my fucking, like, pissed offness all throughout fucking work tomorrow. Still at True Leave, only once a day. Can't do more than that. Too much anxiety just to, like, I would have been pissed. I would have been fucking pissed. Real pissed. But that didn't happen. Okay? They did that shit just for the, one of those guys. You know what I mean? Cha-ching! Beep, 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 beep. Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. Those guys. The wise guys. That's what that was for. So, this team looks good. For the first game? What are you going to say? There's a lot of things you could say, but what are you going to say? They're supposed to beat this fucking team. So you can't be like, oh, they did really well winning, it was a big win, blah, 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 because, they're supposed to beat the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons are not that good right now. They got Monty Williams, which at the beginning of the game, I was like, they've got a lot of talent, they've got a lot of good pieces, they're a dangerous team. If they got a good coach. And I completely forgot that they had Monty. And when they said Monty Williams, like, oof, they've got a good coach. That's a dangerous team. And look what happened. Even though tonight wasn't really about, I don't want to say it was about Detroit. It's just, they do have a guy on there that can, kind of light it up a little bit because he's their best player on the team. But really, we all know tonight was more about the Heat just doing the Heat thing and taking their foot off the pedal. Up 19, letting a team back in the game, playing to their level. Hey, baby, we're back. Welcome to another Heat season. It would not be Miami Heat season if they didn't give you a little heart attack at some point in the game. It would not. It just wouldn't feel right, And that's what I kept telling myself. I wasn't like, they're gonna fucking blow it up. Fuck this team. I wasn't like that. I've seen this shit before a million times. We've all seen this shit a million times before with this team. A million times before we've seen this shit. So we know what was gonna happen. You didn't have to get pissed off. Just sit back and be maybe a little bit annoyed because, like, okay, I guess I gotta go through this. So well, let's go. Can we get through this already, please? Okay, cool. Now I can eat my sandwich. Because you can't eat your sandwich until they fucking do it, or else you're gonna fucking. We don't want that. We don't want that. So there were a lot of things that I liked. I have no notes. No notes. None notes. This is dome, top of my head. Duncan Robinson was perfect until he had to take an open wide fucking three. If you have been listening to the show, watching it live on YouTube or on Twitch when we first started, because we first started on Twitch, you would know you expected that. Because if aliens came down from another universe, another timeline, another multiverse, came to Earth, threatened us with its destruction, and said, the only way we're not blowing this shit up is if Duncan Robinson hits a wide open three. If that's the ultimatum, we're fucked. We've said it before, and we know this. So when you see Duncan Robinson take the wide open shot, look at the person that you love the most and just kiss him. I see. Goodbye. It's the last time. Because he ain't making that shit. And we're getting click, click. Goodbye. No more Earth. You know that, in Star Wars, 1 in a million, we're all clear, kid, take a shot. Use the Force. That's us. If it's Caleb Martin, we good, baby. If it's Tyler Hero, who was a little shitty today, because I think he was just really excited. He really wanted to do really well because he literally hasn't played a regular season fucking game that counted since the fucking playoffs where he got hurt. And he's been, like, dying for this game, so I can totally fucking understand why he's, like, a little kind of crazy and scatterbrained. But Hero had a wide open shot, and he made that shit. Duncan Robinson, goodbye. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. That said, Duncan Robinson was on fire today. And he looked different. He looked like a man that had settled into his role, settled into his position, and just kind of went out there and had a good time. And is enjoying his job, enjoying being in NBA basketball. He looked different. He really did look different. And then he started to crumble when people started to force feed him the fucking ball and try and get him that three, and he missed it. And try and get him around, he missed it. And he missed it. And then from then on, it was like But he still played a great game. Really great game. So that's very comforting to see. To say the least. Because I don't want to come out here and already fucking kill him, even though I already just did. Because we will be like, if you put him up there with the aliens, it's done. I'm sorry. But today he put in a game. And that's like, oh, that's going to really help this season. If he can just contribute like that, like he's supposed to put in 15, 16 points a game. He's supposed to. So just normally. And he's not. He hasn't been. He's normally putting in like he's supposed to put in 15, 16 points a game. And then what he ends up giving us, it's supposed to be like 9 points a game. And what he was really giving us was like 3 points a game. It was like one fucking 3 the entire fucking game. That's what he was really giving us. And like on a milagro fucking day, he would give us 9 points a game. And he's really supposed to be giving us like 16, 18 a game. Easily. That man is a crazy ass 3-point shooter in this game where like the 3 is fucking everywhere. Feed it to the fucker. You know, it's just that when we feed it to him, a lot of times he doesn't make the shots, man. He misses shots. But this is a game where he wasn't looking for that shot where it was like, we've got this set play where we turn it around and it ends up in dunk. Everything was very natural. It felt very natural. Pick play, pass to him, takes a shot with the big man, giving him some cover. It's just very natural. Okay, it's not there, he takes it to the cover, very natural. It's very natural, dude. It just felt like he was in, like, very smooth and he was in it from the very beginning. And that was, like, great to see because it's like, shit, that's what we've been waiting to see for a long time. Now we're going to have to see in a game that really fucking matters against Boston. See how he plays then. But I like what I saw. The other thing that I like what I saw is, let me tell you something. You know why we almost lost this game? Okay? Because Spo still dying his fucking guys that are like falling apart at the end. And I don't want none of this shit no more. I appreciate Lowry. I don't appreciate a no fucking point game from Lowry. I don't care how much he's facilitated, how much he's fucking doing out there. I don't give a fuck. No. Now when Jaquez is out there playing a baller of a game, now when this what was it, Brian, I think his name, the other big man, now when he's out there playing a pretty decent game, like now when we have other options, and you're riding that starting team to the end, but that starting team wasn't doing as good as the bench. That bench is really good. Like, that bench is once again, the Miami Heat have a bench that could easily be a starting team anywhere else in the league. Anywhere else in the league, our starters, which are just rookie guys, a bunch of rookie guys. So Hero, Robinson, and three young guys and shit, bro. Like, that we're just trading in and out. Like, those guys that we have found, they can be a starting team somewhere else. They'd be young. They'd lose a lot of games. Yeah, but you know what? They'd still be a starting team. That's how good they are. So when you put them against a bench team, they're really good. They hold up against a bench. And that's just like, we were just dipping our toes in it, to be honest with you. So it's like, okay, we got a good bench. And Watkins play good. I like this. I want to see him play more with Hero. I'd rather see him play with the starters instead of having Lowry. We don't need a point guard. This team doesn't need a fucking point guard. What the fuck do you need a point guard for? You're just playing a point guard right there because you gotta, I don't know. I honestly don't know anymore. I really don't know. We don't really need a point guard anymore. Like, this has been a positionless fucking basketball team since LeBron, Wade, and fucking Bosh, bro. Still talking about that shit. So why are we even asking? Why are we doing it? And it's like, okay, maybe we need it because we have to like put someone's name in that shit, and then just pick anybody. Fucking put them in the thing. He put Hero as the fucking point guard. I don't give a shit. But really, honestly, Lowry better have a big game. Lowry better do a little bit more against the Celtics. Because if he doesn't, if he doesn't and we win, there'll still be talk, but it won't be as bad. If he doesn't do anything and we lose, there is going to be a shitstorm amount of talk about moving him and getting him the fuck out of here, which there should be, because at this point, I don't even know why we're going into the season with him. Like, we could have easily replaced him with somebody. We could have replaced Lowry with somebody. And that doesn't even have to be Drew Holiday. It doesn't have to be one of these big guys or a big name. It doesn't have to be like that. We could have we would have made a hard play, I think, for Marcus. I don't know, because they traded Marcus Smart, I think. I don't remember what happened with that. I don't know if they let him go or what. I don't remember that. But I don't know. I feel like I like this organization could have fucking had. We found the Swider man. We found this other guy. We could find people. I'm not gonna act like there's nobody out there, you know? I don't have a name for you because I'm not a fucking scout and I'm not out there. But I have faith in this organization that they do have somebody that can find somebody to replace him. No problem. So that's going to be the big key, I think, going into the Celtics game, and something to watch is how Lowry performs. Because if Lowry doesn't perform really well, then we're going to start looking around for a point guard. Like a true point guard, I don't know. Which, honestly, I don't think we need. I think it's better if we don't have a point guard, because then the ball actually kind of like is forced to get around with everybody, you know, at some point. This team, I felt, played really, really great once we started digging into our bench. Once we started digging into the bench, we started pulling away. Once we stayed, and we're reconnected, once we started sticking with our starters and Lowry in there for an extended period, then that's when we just kept letting this team in. So I didn't like that. I think that's got to change. So we got to fix that, or keep an eye on that. That's really pretty much it, man, because we're not going to go ahead and we're not going to do what we typically do and freak the fuck out game one. We learned a lot about this team and this organization from last season. Everybody out there is thinking that it was a one hit wonder. This doesn't happen. How can it not happen? We've been fucking there knocking on the goddamn door for the past, ever since Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is his fifth season. This is Jimmy Butler's fifth season with the Heat. And only one time we basically just got knocked out of the first round because it was right after the bubble, and they didn't have enough time to rest, and they were just dead tired. And they were dead tired, or he was injured, and it was like they weren't going to do it because they just were in the finals of the bubble. Okay? And they barely got any rest. But those other years, Eastern Conference Finals and the finals. So what's going to happen this year? I don't give a fuck that they got Lillard in Milwaukee. It's still Milwaukee. I don't see anybody in fucking New York that's going to stop us. And I don't see in Boston is Boston, man. But if Boston got weaker, they ain't going to stop us in our current form right now. It's just that people don't know. People think that, it's Miami, it's just a fluke. It's always a fluke with us every year. Yet, every year we're fucking there. Okay? This team got enough rest in the offseason, I think. Everybody's coming back healthy. Hero is coming back with conviction. The biggest, or one of the biggest, or the second biggest, I don't know, whatever, you decide. But one of the things that is really banking on this season is Hero and his performance, because we didn't get Lillard, we didn't get someone big, and we didn't get that said person for Hero, because a lot of people or put Hero on the table for whoever the fuck, which is crazy, because you want to keep, if you're going to trade Hero for a superstar, wouldn't that mean that Hero is somewhat of fucking a superstar? He's worth that? He's younger. Stick with him. I'm looking to constantly be in the fucking run and challenging for a championship every year, not just 1 year and then this guy retire and that's it. No, man. We have a couple years of doing this, so stick with this guy. And then we got to build around this core, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we have. I mean, this core has been around ever since Jimmy got here. We've had the same guys. And that's really what I think makes you more of a dangerous team in the NBA, is if you can keep like the core guys, if you can keep them together for a couple seasons, that becomes a really good team. That's why the Spurs were so good for a long time, because they kept like that core together for a really, really long time, and they just built around that core. And that's essentially what we got to do, is just build around the core of Jimmy, Tyler, and Bam. That's the core of this team. If we can keep Caleb, we'll keep Caleb. If we can keep Robinson, we keep Robinson. But the real core of this fucking team is Jimmy, Bam, and Hero. Hero is essentially the future of this team. Hero's supposed to take over this team after Jimmy and Bam. That's, to me, without a doubt. So to see people just put him out there, I don't care, it's ridiculous, dude. And I think that was wrong. So he's going to come out wanting to prove a lot. And he's got to prove a lot this season. He has to. It's not even about he wants to. He's got to come out there this season and he's got to prove a lot. So you're going to probably see him make a lot of mistakes and a lot of stuff early on. But I totally expect him to settle into his usual groove. Once he starts hitting his shots and hitting his three like normal, he's going to start feeling it again, and he's going to really be in the mix, you know? And, but the big thing with him is he has got to perform in the playoffs, like big time. Big fucking time, bro. Like, he's got to show up in the fucking playoffs this season. Like, I don't give a fuck what happens, bro. This team's got to make it to the playoffs at some capacity. I don't give a shit if it's first, second, eighth, play-in. I don't give a fuck. We proved that. We get in the play-in, whatever, and then we'll win that fucking game against whoever, and we'll get in. We'll get in 7 seed, and you know what? We'll whip whoever the fuck's ass. We don't give a fuck. There's no different from last year and this year. It's going to be no real difference, dude. Honestly, it's not. Same motherfuckers. Same motherfuckers. So I'm not worried about if whatever. We just got to get in it, and that's the mentality of this team with Jimmy. You don't want to waste your breath and waste your time doing what Milwaukee does and what the Celtics do every year, which is try and fucking fill up the media fucking like headlines, and Celtics are number 1, Milwaukee's number 2. These are the 2 top teams that are going to go, and they're going to win the championship this year. They're the best. They got a title team there. And they start listening to all that bullshit on ESPN, on Fox, everything, all that crap. They just listen to it. And the Heat are just grinding. The Heat are just with their nose down, not looking up, not looking at what's going on. They're not caring. And they just, at the end of the season, they look up. And they have faith that in their grinding mentality and their work ethic and in their culture, all that together is going to be enough to get them in the fucking playoffs. And that's when the regular season starts for them. That's when we really start worrying about the regular season. This is like a preseason. The whole 80 games, that's just one long-ass motherfucking preseason. And once we make it into the fucking playoffs, man, boom. That's when everybody wakes up. That's when we start going. That's when we start grinding right there even more. So it's long. It's a journey. It's an adventure. The good thing is that we don't have to fucking wait 4 goddamn games for a win like we did last season, which was just like, this is insane. But at the same time, it's like, well, we lost the first 4 games and then we made it to the finals. What happens when we win? Is that now can I make it to the finals? No, we're not going to think that way. We're going to think that we're going to win the finals. There you go. Now, not that we won the first game, not lost the first game. We're going to win the finals. That's how we do it. That's the real opposite. Got it? Cool. Okay. Reconnected again. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. Honestly, it shouldn't even disconnect or reconnect because I have great connection. And I have great internet. I pay like fucking shit ton of money for it. But so that's why I always feel like, oh, that's YouTube cutting me off. That's the man cutting me off, and that's the fucking that's this conspiracy, whatever. The NBA conspiracy. So that's a ghost of Jason Terry. So yeah, I like where this team is at. I like what we're doing. I like what we have. I'm fine with everything. Let's just get into this shit and start fucking doing up some games and getting into this shit. And that's it. That's all we really fucking have to say for today, I'm not going to really go too long or anymore. 45 minutes is enough of this shit. Not even. It was like really 30 minutes because I left the shit running for a little bit. But, yeah, so it's just, it's the first one. We've got a bunch. I'm really going to try and do every game. Some games I might miss just because mental health, bro. That's all I can tell you. But for the most part, I'm going to try and do every game. You'll know. Follow me on Threads, at studiomogura. Everywhere is at studiomogura. I'm no longer on Twitter. Even though my page probably still exists. And I'm going to have to log in and take that shit down because I don't even want that shit up anymore. I don't want people to go there and think I'm active on there. But even though if you go on there, I'm sure they'll say like I haven't posted in like forever. But I just left it on there because I wanted to make sure that nobody takes my name, so I didn't want to like delete my account. But then I heard you can't delete it anymore. Now it's he only the fuckface McGee only made it for deactivating. So I just gotta go back and deactivate it. But I'm no longer on Twitter. I'm on Threads, and Threads is the shit right now. Threads is awesome. Threads is a great fucking place to just meet other creatives, meet other like-minded people. The algorithm, that's the great algo is what they call it right now. It's working really strong, and it's awesome. You just literally type, I want to meet these kind of people, and then you give it a little time, and eventually those people start showing up on your feed. It's beautiful. They've got a kind of a problem with like bots because it's still early on. Especially porn bots, because it's, again, still early on and they haven't fucking decided what the fuck they're going to do with that. Because I can tell that they want to, like, leave nudity on because, they, like, Twitter leaves nudity on, but I don't think so. I think you should just fucking drop the fucking hammer and, like, if, people can put up sexy pictures and all that kind of shit, but nudity, take it off because you have OnlyFans, you have Xvideo, you have Pornhub, you have so many, you have Patreon, you have X or Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called. You have so many places that you can fucking put up naked photos, do all that shit. Like, let's get one place where, you can have sexy shit, but it doesn't have to be full-fledged hardcore. Whether it's fucking hardcore sex, hardcore fucking nudity, or hardcore fucking violence. That's another thing that I don't want to see on fucking Threads, is I don't want to see, like, full, uncensored fucking violent videos and car crashes and people dying and shit. I don't want to see that showing up on my feed at all. And that just happens because, if you like something about, not even you like something, if you, like, read something about, like, the Ukrainian war or whatever news is coming on, it's going to just start feeding you that shit. Because it's like, oh, you like this? Ah! And it's like, no! So that's got to get sorted. But overall, I think it's much better. It's a little bit more real. There's not, like, celebrities on there for the most part. There's celebrities on there, but there's not, like, how in other places, because, I don't know, they just can't let go. A lot of these people can't let go of their massive follower lists that are on fucking Twitter. Like, these people have like millions of followers on Twitter, and it's like they can't let that go and start from scratch, which is really sad. It's really fucking sad because it just shows how much of a fucking fraud you are, how much of your fucking content is built like just by your fucking ad team or some shit like that. Like if you're fucking, let's say Brad Pitt, man, like you should not have any fucking problem leaving that shit. I'm not saying that Brad Pitt's on there, you know what I mean? I'm just using it as an example, but like, leave fucking Twitter, bro, and show up on fucking Threads, and at least 1 million people are gonna follow you. 500,000 people are gonna follow you. 25,000 people are gonna fucking follow you and shit instantly in a day, and you build it there. Who gives a fuck, man? You have your following already, bro. You don't really need X if you are already considered a celebrity or famous. If you have a blue check mark on X, or if you have a blue check mark on Instagram, you could literally just transfer your fucking people over. Because reality is, if you have an Instagram, if you have a Twitter, you have an Instagram. Sorry, these pants are scrunching la bolas. Okay, so before we leave, we're going to do our little session in celebration of the heat. And in celebration of the new season. And in celebration of all things spooky. I also want to put out there, if you like horror movies, these next couple days, probably starting tomorrow, because right now I'm working on the animation, so I basically sit here and I draw my animation shit, and I watch movies in the background, have it playing, and then I got to a point where it just feels so fucking utterly lonely in here. Even though I have the cats and I love the cats, it just feels like, oh god, being by myself for so long, just working on this thing sucks. And so I start to just kind of stream on Twitch, even though you're not really supposed to, because it's a movie and blah 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 whatever. So basically, I've been trying to figure out, okay, how can I find the good point where I can just show the stuff, I can talk about it, and people can kind of watch along some way. So usually what I do is I go no volume. You can see the movie, and I put subtitles on or something, and then I'll comment about the movie whenever as we're watching it, because I'm watching it with volume. But I encourage people to just go on Tubi, because a lot of all the movies that I'm watching are on Tubi. And Tubi has an amazing selection of classic horror films. So you can just, I'll tell you what film we're watching. You just go on Tubi and we just watch together, and you just, sync it up on how it is on fucking to where it is on Twitch, and then we just just watch the movie together. That's basically what we're doing. So that's what I've been doing, calling it Screamorama, IHA Screamorama. So be on the lookout for that. Probably tomorrow, maybe after I get off of work, because I think on Friday there's another game, or it's Saturday. Either Friday or Saturday. Friday. I see there was something here. Yeah, man. Buen jueguito. I don't know if this is that. I think that's Sergito. I'm not sure who that is, but I gotta see. I think that's him. Yeah, man. Definitely a good game today. It's just it's the first game, so I'm of course these guys are gonna fucking like take their foot off the gas, whatever. That's what these guys do. And I don't care anymore at this point. As long as you win the goddamn game, win the fucking game. That's it. And that's what they did. So we're gonna be happy about that. But whereas before we go, we're gonna hit this little fucking session up here right now. So join me along if you got the smoke them if you got them. I've got the Sunset Sherbet 8. It's funny because I watch a lot of the old fucking shows, and I see how I went from being someone who was just got their marijuana card, and then someone who started going to True Leave and loving everything at True Leave, and then someone who started working at True Leave, and now I'm someone who still works at True Leave, but it's just like, okay, I'm gonna just work this year out, and then I'm gonna leave probably because I'm gonna have to do taxes again, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass to just go one day, so I figured I might as well just leave and then come back or whatever. I don't know. But now I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't buy my weed from True Leave anymore. Once I started going to the flowery, I look at some of the old videos and I'm like, Jesus, I can't smoke the flowery because the flowery's too strong and the flowery's too this. Fuck that. If I'm gonna spend what I'm gonna spend on weed still, because it's still the street price, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get the best shit that's available to me. And right now, True Leave is just not coming through with the quality. They have stuff that's good, and they have stuff that's going to get you stoned, and stuff that's like fine, whatever, and stuff for great pricing and great deal and for beginner mode. Like if you've never smoked before, if you've wanted to try it, or if you just first time off the streets, you just want to get something, that's really great. And if you want to get something quick, that's really great because they're all over the fucking place. But if for the primo shit that I'm like, if I'm gonna spend this kind of money or spend any money on fucking flower, I'm always gonna go to the flowery from here on out. Because their shit is just unfucking believable. It's just so fucking good. It's just so fucking good. It's so amazing. So we're going to do the Super Bubblegum. Because I think that's the most I have of. And I wish you could see, or I wish you could smell the fucking shit. Because every time you open it, you're like, fuck, dude. But like, look at the tightness of this nug. It's very tight. Again, it's called Super with a Z Bubblegum. It's made by Preferred Gardens, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's amazing smelling, amazing tasting. The taste that it leaves in your mouth is it's just like this weird earthy kind of like. That's how you are. That's the taste that it leaves. Okay, so what I like to do is take a nice little swig of coffee. Sorry. With the little bits of biscotti that have been floating in there for like the whole entire game at 10:52 at night. To kind of get that palate with the coffee palate. And then you hit this and it's like, okay. But we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to actually turn this up a notch. And then we're going to rock a little bit, this very little bit of, see this side there? That's the Ghost Train Haze Sativa True Wax. To get the nerves in the back here like that, like to give you that, because we don't gotta go into work until 1, so fuck it. Even if we don't sleep tonight and we throw up, who gives a shit, right? Fuck it. So we're gonna take a little sliver of this shit, even though I'm supposed to hit this on the fucking in the Puffco. I'm just gonna scrape the bits and shit that are on the glass, and take a little bit and then just put it right on top. We can kind of right there, and then I'm gonna smear it so it creates this like shield kind of coating on the weed. It's pretty interesting because you hit it 3 times and that little area that's covered by the wax is still green. It's awesome. And then we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna mix it up with there's another. I have some bubble kush and nice, but we're gonna use this in indica keef because we only have a little bit of it left, rather than the sativa keef. Because if I put the sativa keef, then I'm just gonna be electrified, and I don't want to be electrified. I already just drank some coffee, so. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and then we're gonna leave you en la noche so you can go a mimi. And then we'll be back here Friday to watch the game with episode 2 of Cultura. Okay, so Super Bubblegum, Ghost Train Haze, Wax, Indica Keef on top. That's how we rock it. What do you got? Cool. Rock and roll. One thing about the True Leaf that is amazing, though, is the concentrates. I go to Flowery for my flour. I get my concentrates still at True Leaf. The wax, $35 for a nice little glob, great. This little tool comes with the diamonds. I had some diamonds. I'm just trying everything, see what it's like. So when people are like, yo, what is this like? I'm like, well, it's like this. And the diamonds was all right. I would just prefer the wax because, I mean, you're going to pay $45 for 0.5 grams of diamonds. You're going to run through that shit. Even though the diamonds kind of just and just like one of those. I still feel after a little bit, you just kind of run through it like you run through everything else because you get to a point where you're just so stoned that you really can't get stoned anymore. So you're just always trying to get to that top level. That's why I love smoking my flower, because my flower, I'm still dealing with the 30%. I'm not dealing with like 90, 80%. I don't fill up my tank 80, 90%. I only fill up my tank 30%, 30%, 30%, 20%, 21%, 20, 30%, like that. And so I'm going like here. I'm like, here. And then, but when you smoke fucking concentrates, that shit takes you all the way up here. And then you're floating up here. And then, your tank is already full, so that's it, But at least here, I can get here, smoke, put another little bit, put some keef on it, put some there, and then wait, and then the third thing here, and then that. Like, I feel much better. Because it keeps your tolerance. I mean, you're not smoking shit anymore, bro. We're not smoking bunk off the fucking street. We're not smoking even crap off, nothing. Like, we're smoking really good stuff. Even the shittiest stuff that we smoke is good. Okay? The shittiest weed that you get that's like 12, 10 fucking % garbage, like that shit in the 60s was like the bombest fucking weed ever known to mankind. Can you imagine if you took some of this 30% fucking like dank shit to someone in fucking Woodstock? You'll kill him. They'll think you fucking gave him some shit that just is something else and that would change the whole timeline and multiverse and Kang and So that was that, okay? So, Cultura, así, Cultura, así mismo, fácil, así, Cultura. However you say it, that's how you say it, now and forever. I don't make the rules, I just make the rules. I am Studio Mogura, Studio Mogura. Hit me up at the PayPal, hit me up at the CashApp, check out my book, Full Moon Nights, A Chronicle of the Miami Rave Scene in the early 2000s. Buy the paperback, buy the hardcover. Check out my comic shop, octotaco.com. Right now it's just a blog. I'll be putting up comics at some point. Check out my TeePublic with my t-shirt designs, and check out my discography on Spotify with my entire playlist. Buy my new album on Bandcamp. The Reflection Blinds You from Seeing the Truth. We will see you here on Friday after the Celtics game, which I think is ESPN. It's going to be big. It's going to be wild. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to beat that ass. Because people are just coming into us like we're shit again. And I don't think so, bro. Like, I liked what I saw from Duncan Robinson. And if we can get that every game from him, this team is going to be fucking dangerous, bro. I don't give a shit. You saw Jimmy Butler out there. He's still Jimmy Butler, bro. I don't give a shit. I don't care how many times our guys were blocking us, and we still won that goddamn game. They didn't block us enough. Blocked Hero a bunch of times, didn't block him enough. And that's all it is. That's all it is. So I think Jimmy's going to be up for this game because it's early. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's going to be one of those games. It's going to be interesting to see how Celtics respond because the Celtics almost got their ass beat in New York, and I don't even know how the fuck they won that game. And if seeing how that the Celtics won that game or just already tells me that New York's gave that game up the same way that we almost gave up this game because it's the first game of the season. Guys are still kind of like last 3 days ago. And there was a moment I was watching the game, I had it in the background, and I saw that the Knicks were up. The Knicks were up, and the Knicks were taking them around. But then there was a moment that the Knicks stole the ball, had a chance to hit the three, and they ended up coughing it back up to the Celtics. And right there and then, I knew it was over. I knew, that was their chance. They didn't get it, and it was over. Thank God that didn't happen with the Heat. The Heat still, didn't. They got stolen and messed up, but these other guys didn't hit that last shot that they needed to hit. And that's the only reason why we kind of made it out of here. And block, Bam had a block. Very good block. So, I can't even give it a little bit. So yeah, that's how we do it. And I thank you for watching the show. We're going to try and do things a little bit kind of different. And I'm going to leave you with El Traco that you know. And we will see you back here Friday. And every Heat game after every Heat, just about. If I'm not here, you'll know it's because, this guy was too tired or taking a shit or something like that. So, whatever. We'll see you in the next game. That's just how it is. We're human, baby. That's how we do it. Cultura, we are out. Don't freak out. Just freak out. Hold on, wait. Is that really? Goodbye? Okay, that's it. We're over, right? Bye.